So two new Amazon listings have shown up of, I guess we could call it new Transformer product. Let's call it Transformer product that I guess you would have had an opportunity to buy if you were in specific regions. But now, if you're a Westerner, chances are you have a better opportunity to get that. And I'll get into the history of this. So two listings have showed up. The Transformers Cyber Battalion Heroic 2-pack. And there's two of these that are here. One of them has images of it that gives us an idea of how this is going to be done. The other one doesn't, and I'll probably break down at what's inside it. Because the way that they're listed is pretty much Transformers Tra Cyber Battalion Heroic 2-pack Op. And then, of course, we have images of what's inside, which we'll cover. And then the other one is the same thing, but with BB, which you could probably guess of who's the star of that one. Now, these are these very simplified, very generation selects, Hasbro Pulse kind of brown packaging that we're seeing a lot more of in the future, potentially in a lot of ways. While not going to be happening tomorrow, could be the future of how a lot of Transformer product will be distributed. But what's contained inside is two figures, two 7-inch simplified Transformer figures that if you looked at them very carefully, you'd probably be like, these seem familiar. Where have I seen these before? Now, these are an Optimus Prime and a Megatron that are actually reissues of the 2015 Cyber Battalion Cyber Series line that was, in most parts, it was originally created for the Chinese and Asian market and the South American Latin market, trying to have simplified, low-cost, low-engineered, low parts, not a lot of paint, simple, low-cost Transformers to be distributed to those regions so that official licensed Transformer product could exist there in a world that could be potentially filled with a whole bunch of bootlegs normally. And this was part of the Hasbro Global Development Organization, or the GDO, as some people might know it as. And this was just their attempt to, hey, here's regions that toys kind of have a very different, I guess, environment. A lot of bootlegs, a lot of low-quality items there, a lot of knockoffs. I mean, especially, I get a lot of crazy bootlegs from the South American Transformer world. There's a lot of crazy stuff that comes out of there. And especially China. China goes without saying. And it's just they kind of want to have official product over there that could potentially stimulate a market that could get used to buying licensed Transformer products instead of bootlegs. It's a Hasbro thing that they've been trying for years, and we'll see what the long-term effects of that is. But that was something they did 6 years ago. And I don't know how it really turned out, because as Wave 2 and 3 of this stuff started to roll out, which, Wave 1 of the original of this was Bumblebee, Grimlock, Megatron, Optimus Prime, and Starscream. Wave 2 and 3 had Prowl and Jetfire, and then later on Shockwave and Sideswipe. Those Wave 2 and 3 started to actually show up in Western retail. I know that my Toys R Us here in Canada had it, and people were reporting seeing these in Walgreens in the United States, not in like toys in let's say Target or Walmart, but at least in more smaller things like a Walgreens and everything like that. So maybe Project GDO didn't work out in the long run, and the leftover product was then brought over here. They already probably packaged and engineered and designed it ready to ship out for the... Either way, the point is that this stuff was engineered, it existed, and if you even look at it, and you might even be like, well, I never saw these in stores, but these still seem familiar. There were a lot of designs that were kind of tweaked upscales of previously existing Transformer product from Generations and Reveal the Shield and Transformers Prime Cyberverse and stuff like that. It has a very similar kind of vibe and aesthetic, because that's really what they are. They're retools and then upscaled, blow-up, simplified things, because it might not look like it, but these are 7-inch figures. They're almost Voyager-sized. So the first pack here, for $26.49 according to Amazon, is the Optimus and Megatron 2-pack. Now, these are straight up 100% the original Wave 1 Asia exclusives. So while these might not seem fantastical, and I just gave you a whole story that these things came out 6 years ago. They were in limited region releases. You know, again, Chinese market, Asian market, Latin America. So if you wanted to get these and you didn't have a chance to, if you're a completist or if you just like the designs or you want to have these simplified 7-inch figures for maybe a younger collector in your life or Transformer fan, it's an opportunity because now you can pick them up on Amazon for $26.49. Now, there's a Bumblebee one here. They don't have images of it, but chances are it's going to obviously have Bumblebee. But looking at what Wave 1 also offered that's left over is there's Grimlock and there's Starscream. I'm going to take a guess. They're going to put a Decepticon, and it's going to be Starscream. So calling it now, probably Starscream in that 2-pack with Bumblebee. I mean, the only other ones that existed that are Decepticon related is Shockwave and Wave 3, and that actually kind of saw release in the Western market through Walgreens, so that's a whole other story. But yeah, again, this is something that exists. It's something just to keep an eye out on if you are interested in picking this up. It really is, to me, again, a reflection of what a lot of Transformers is going to be in the future, both regionally and both in terms of packaging and all the little business-related stuff in between. I've said a lot of times that there's a lot of Transformer product that we have here in the Western world that we kind of criticize and go, oh, that's kind of stupid. Why does this exist? Or why does that exist? Or that's kind of silly. But a lot of it is actually developed for the Asian market, not Japan, but like China and all of those regions, specifically to kind of stimulate that market. And since the designing, packaging, and everything has already been done, why not also release it here in the West too? And that's why we have so much filler product when it comes to, like, let's say Cyberverse, or let's say even the weird Evergreen stuff that we have. So that's kind of that. And then when you look at also, again, the simplified packaging, which is stuff that they already started with Hasbro Pulse and are going to probably continue in the future with more low-end products and everything, it's just something to keep in mind. It's just something to keep in mind. It's a part of one evolution of Transformers moving into the future and what's going to be happening with the brand, especially with how things are in that side of the globe and what Hasbro really wants to do and develop in the long term. Anyways, let me know what you think. I know this isn't everyone's jam, but it is a good discussion to have, and it is good to see something like this. And again, for completists or for people that just want to get something that's a little more affordable and simplified for the young collector in your life, or someone that wants to get into Transformers, because we do have to nurture the next generation of Transformer fans, it's something that you could put on your Amazon wish list, or you could throw it in your cart. Where I'm not sponsored by Amazon. I'm actually not a big fan of Amazon, but it's just, this is where this shows up first, and potentially this might be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive later or something, judging by the packaging. But right now it's available through Amazon, and we'll see what happens in the future with it. So let me know what you think, and hope you learned something from this.